Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new lesson. Today's lesson is all about how to aim. Sounds pretty simple, but recently I've seen some pretty good golf swings resulting in pretty poor shots due to poor aim. So let's get stuck in the lesson and find out how and what we need to do. Okay guys, so if this is your first lesson, firstly welcome to the channel and welcome back to everybody who has already subscribed. If you haven't though, do join the other subscribers in improving your golf this year by clicking that subscribe button down below and turn on the bell notification so you don't miss the 3 free golf lessons that you can get a week right here on Matt Fryer Golf. So, aiming, it seems quite a simple concept, you would think, when it comes to golf, and sometimes we take it for granted. And when I speak to some people who watch the channel down at the range sometimes and see that they're just getting out on their their golfing journey, as it were, and even guys who are low handicaps just slipping into bad habits, sometimes aim can be quite a root evil cause really of what's going wrong. So today's lesson, I'm going to give you a couple of pointers on what we need to be doing and what to look out for and what it can cause. Because like I say, I've seen some good golf swings ruined by poor aim. They think that they were aiming correctly, they make a great swing and it results in a pretty poor shot and they're stood there scratching their head. So let's find out what we need to do. So we're going to be talking about club face alignment, and we're also going to be talking about body alignment as we go through this lesson. So let's say now, as we're looking down on this camera here, I've got a target down there. These canes that you can see on the floor are now aligned to the left edge of that big tree that you might just make out on the camera, but I'll put a little target line in there for us anyway. So for myself, I'm trying to hit it down there because the fairway slopes from right to left. I'm going to cut it back into the fairway with the left to right wind that we have today, and that would allow me to hit the fairway and keep it up on there. So what I need to do, I need to establish that target, which I did by coming behind, having a look at where I want to put the ball, where I want to start it, and take it from there. Then what I'm going to do is align my club face. So the outside cane you can see here is parallel to my ball to target line. So we've got a ball to target line, and then we've got our body to target line here. So what we would see is that we would align our club face directly at my target there. So that is now pointing at the left edge of the tree, as we can see there. And then from this camera angle, it might be able to see, but I'll get a close up also. From there, what we'll see is that almost looks like the letter T with that alignment cane and the club face, because I've got it square and perpendicular, not open nor closed. That signifies as well that now the face is looking directly towards my target. As well, what I want to try and do, and what I see quite a lot of people doing, is not even aiming the ball out of the middle of the club head. Now, some really good players you'd see on tour find out that they just get it out of the toe, so they align it slightly out of the heel and it becomes a tendency for them. But if we can get into the habit straight away of trying to align the club head to the ball and get those both looking out of the middle now, obviously when we make the golf swing, we're trying to get it out of the center each time, so it makes sense that we line the ball up out of the middle. And for me, I've got the little Mizuno logo there that signifies where that is, and I'm just going to place that in each and every time. So that is how we aim the club face. We pick our target, we place it in, and a good thing I would try and do is always just step in and align my club face to my target first, then I can build everything else around there. If I got my body in and I thought, right, aim that and then do that, we might start to see that we go a little bit wrong. So club face at target is the first one, C, that we get there. Then the second point I talked about there was our body to target line. Now, this is where we start to see the flaws happening. When I get a lot of lessons, beginners especially, they think that everything has to point at the target. So all of a sudden now, from this camera angle here, you can see that my body is now angled differently to the cane on the ground. It isn't parallel to my ball to target line. So as I've gone there, I'm thinking, right, well, I've got my shoulders, my toes, my knees and my hips all pointing at the left edge of the tree. I've got my club face pointing at the left edge of the tree. So I'm aiming at the left edge of the tree. The problem is the shoulders have a huge influence on our club path. So if we think from out to in and into out and into in, what we want to try and do is always create a bit more of an into in swing that would see that we're on plane and the arc's working correctly. But if I then aim my shoulders now at the tree, and you would see, if I draw a line on the screen, that's running across my ball to target line, so I'm standing closed, the chances are I would swing more into out. I would get the club actually travelling to the right of my target. So it might result in a hook if I had the face aiming there and I released it. If I kept the face square to where I was now aiming my body, I might see that I hit a big push, and I also might try and correct it. Subconsciously, when I stand here and I look at the tree, I now have to look over my left shoulder, almost turn my body. So subconsciously my mind thinks, that's not quite right, I'll correct it from there, and I start to throw it a little bit more over the top, just by simply standing a little bit too close to it. And vice versa, I could stand too open to my target, so now you see the shoulders pointing off in totally the other direction, far too open, and this could make me swing too much from out to in. So if we were trying to shape shots, this could be a good way of actually doing it, but like here we're just trying to get used to aiming correctly, and what we want to see is that we get our body line now parallel to our ball to target line, so our feet square, knees, hips, chest and shoulders all aim parallel to our ball to target line. And the big way to think of this is one of the ways that I say to my lessons is, think of a train track. If a train was traveling in a straight line, we wouldn't see the tracks ever cross. They would just go straight and be parallel to one another. So when we take our aim, we want to think of the train track. So our ball to target for the right-handed golfer would be the outside line, and our body would be our inside line, so the left-hand side of the track if I was going straight down here on my train. So as we do that, now you can see these two red lines are running parallel. So as I do it, what we would find, if my face was looking at the left edge of the tree there, I then built a parallel setup where you now see, like I say, toes, knees, hips, chest, shoulders looking it. I look very square on screen, and what will actually happen is that my body should be aiming somewhere between 5 to 10 yards inside, so left for me as a right-handed golfer, of my intended target of the tree. So it's not that I'm aiming straight at it, it's now pulled slightly inside from there. And that is how we're going to create a good aim, because once we get that, we're able to make a good swing, and if we're delivering it on plane and in a neutral manner with the face square, we should see that we start to get our shots going out towards our target. So, excuse me, as we do it, always think of that train track. So it's club face first, then build it up, see that body is square. Like I say, if you're too closed, you will probably see that you get too much of an into out path. If you're too open, you will probably see that you get too much of an out to in path and see that you're getting a little bit cutty. So just take note of those, and if you are seeing shots happen, and one of the big things with driver as well, because my right hand goes lower than the left hand, my trail hand goes below the lead, and the ball's further up my stance, as I do that, what I see from a lot of golfers is that the shoulders close when hitting driver. So especially with driver, check that your shoulder alignment is parallel to your ball to target line. See that your shoulders now are parallel, and if we've got that and we finish off here with a nice hit, we should see you get a pretty solid drive. Pulled it slightly, more my fault than anything, but ended up in the fairway, wasn't too bad. So, a simple thing, guys, aiming, but it can lead you down a few dark paths. So make sure you're using that train track analogy to see that you're getting your aim correct. If you do that, you should see that your good swings will result in far better shots. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this lesson this week. If you have, do leave a comment down below and hit that like button. Also, remember, if you haven't already, which I know a lot of you haven't, do hit the subscribe button below. Click the bell notification so you don't miss out on any future lessons, and enjoy them and enjoy your golf and get better this year with me. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.